Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Quest. Now, first things first, today's episode is going to be me casting a replay. So if you're not interested in that, feel free to go ahead and leave right now. I will say before we get started though, that the replay, the last time we did it, the replay system was really buggy. And the reason for that is because we watched a little bit of the clip and then rewound it. And it was that process of going back in the replay itself that made all the animations and mounts really buggy. So this time around, everything should look fine. It'll look like a normal match playing itself out. Before we get into that, though, I want to tell you a little story. This has been one of the most frustrating weeks of all time to solo queue that I've ever seen. It's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. There's been so much negativity, and I think a lot of the reason for that is simply because a large amount of players were just invited to the game, and then we get one of the weirdest free hero rotations I've ever seen. A lot of people are referring to this week as Hell Week just because of the characters. So this week, who was free was Elite Tauren Chieftain, arguably the most underpowered warrior in the game. Lily, arguably the most underpowered support in the game. And then you have the most overpowered range specialist coupled with the most underpowered melee specialist. Sonya, who's essentially an assassin and not really a tank at all. She's classified as a warrior, but plays a lot like assassin. And then Azmodan, who is really strong when he's coupled with Abathur. And I've seen these two combos like crazy this week. So you get a frustrating round of free heroes, as well as a bunch of people coming into the game that don't really understand what they're doing as much as others, and that's just asking for a ton of conflict. And I was feeling the frustration as well. I was playing a lot of Zeratul, trying to work him up to his master skin. I was, just playing specialists. I did a video with Murky, and you guys saw a little bit of hostility in that as well. So my approach this week, or since then, has been to switch over to characters that'll round out an unbalanced team, because you'll be seeing a lot of Zeratul, Nova, Illidan, and Sonya comps, which is for really squishy people, and then just an oddball kind of thrown in there for fun. I wanted to select a character that could round this out and make any team a cohesive unit. And what I ended up doing was playing some Chen Storm Stout. I know this has been a really long intro. I just wanted to prefix this video with that. Let's go ahead and jump into the replay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Haunted Mines. I've gone ahead and frozen the replay for the moment so I could give you the lineup for each team. We have a Barbarian, Nova, and Illidan for the enemy team, which is going to be green, by the way, which is going to be really confusing for me to keep up with. But Illidan, Nova, Barbarian. This has been so common for each team to have these three characters over the past week that we actually have them on my team as well, but we'll get to that in a second. To accompany these three characters, they have a really strong split pusher with Zagara and a good support and initiator with Uther. Our team has the three mentioned earlier, Illidan, Nova, Barbarian. We have a very good split pusher in Azmodan, and myself on Chen, who is a very durable tank who can also build to be a bit of a support later on down the road. Let's go ahead and start it up. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on me mostly, but I'm going to try to talk about all the action going on across the map. There is two forms of, or I guess two towers that grant vision in the middle of the map here on the Haunted Mines, and most teams will go for both of these at the beginning of the game, so it's very likely that we're going to see some type of small team fight at the very least erupt around one of these towers. Unfortunately, our Illidan is not in the game, and I'm going to be accompanied by bot Illidan at the start of this game. So, not only am I not happy with the characters in the free rotation, but I have to deal with a bot version of one of them. But regardless, going to take the vision from my team and heading down to see what they're doing over here. Is it going to be anything interesting? Let's find out. Looks like we are confronted by the enemy Illidan and Uther. Uther going in deep with that stun is going to be caught by the Ancient Spear of Sonya, but it doesn't look like either team really committed too much to that engagement, and we are just going to kind of leave. It looks like the Novas may be dueling here. One snipe missed, another snipe was missed as well as the dueling Novas snipe. It's always so much fun to watch two Novas dueling each other. And it looks like neither team really committed. The blue team was kind of distracted by a Nova decoy there. Up in the top lane, it is going to be me versus Zagara. It looks like the enemy team has an AFK Barbarian. I didn't realize that. This whole week has just been nothing but chaos. But things weren't going too well in the top lane, so I decided to come down and help the friendly Barbarian take over this mercenary camp. Now, Chen Storm Stout, his Q ability is a kick. He'll kind of leap at a target and deal some damage. His W ability is Keg Smash, and his E ability is a Fire Breath. And if you hit someone with your keg and then light them on fire, it'll deal some damage over time. His trait is the ability to drink out of that keg that he carries around, and that keg replenishes his mana bar as well as gives him a shield for a small time. Looks like the Barbarian's now back. The friendly team went for that early mercenary camp. I really like that idea. Usually teams wait until after the mines to get that mercenary camp. We could have timed it a little bit better, possibly had it go out as the mines were first opening, so in about 15 seconds. But hey, that's okay. So Chen versus Zagara is not going to end well for Chen as far as I understand. I'm pretty much pushed back onto the tower for the entirety of this game, and Zagara can do what she wants. And Zagara knows that. So as the mines open, she knows I'm going for them, but she's going to stand strong. She's going to hold down this location so I cannot enter the mines. And I initiate, I do my combo, but unfortunately she hits me with those banelings, and I retreat to the mines. Now we're caught in a little bit of a predicament. Jumping back to her and then exiting the mines could mean we get out of here just fine. And it does. So using our mobility to our advantage, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to help out. There is a team fight erupting. It looks like the enemy team is going to pick up our Asmodan and our Nova very easily, although their Uther is completely out of mana because he is so very hungry in the early game. The enemy Barbarian doing a good job of spinning, winning, and collecting skulls. And it looks like our Asmodan doesn't speak English, which is always fun. The only person collecting skulls on our team is the hero bot Illidan. So you have to give him some credit there. Unfortunately, he does walk himself into the enemy Uther and Zagara and will fall. If he didn't fall there, they did have the reinforcements of their Barbarian, their Illidan, and their Nova. We find our Nova balls deep in the enemy team, is going to get spotted by that Uther, and I try to engage to help for some reason. Not a very good play. Asmodan coming in with a little bit of that dunk damage, but the enemy Barbarian is very adamant on taking me down. Are we going to be able to get away? It does not look like it. We do fall there, but the death ray of Asmodan is going to be enough to take down the enemy Barbarian. Is the dunk going to land on Uther? Yes, it does, and Bot Illidan is here to save the day. Now trying to make something happen here. Unfortunately, Asmodan, very low on health, is going to be taken down by the ghost of Uther and the ghost Nova. Oh man, look at that. It's because her unit is called a ghost, do you get it? And now it looks like our Illidan is no longer a bot. He came back in the middle of this madness, and I'm sure that was fun to wake up to. Is he going to be able to take down Zagara? No, he is not. So the enemy team has 44 skulls. The friendly team has 26. Nova coming in with a kill on Zagara there. Completely unnecessary, and the enemy Nova didn't respond at all to that. So we know we're behind in the mines, so I try to rally the team around this top mercenary camp. This mercenary camp is going to be very important if we want to hold on to any type of control. We have let the enemy team get everything they wanted, aside from 26 skulls in the mines. The enemy team is also a full level ahead of us on XP, so it's incredibly imperative that we have some control over the map, and we are going to try to do that with mercenaries. Now, that being said, our Barbarian is very good at clearing lanes, and our Asmodan is very good at pushing lanes, but it's also a very small map, so that could be a bit more useful on a map like the Garden Terror. We do easily pick up that Zagara as she was trying to get this mercenary camp. We got this vision. I hopped over the wall, and we took her down no problem. And now we have two mercenaries fighting for us. The enemy team is starting to gather together to get rid of the night camp that we just took. Sonya's going to be able to spin, win, and take that down no problem, although it does look like that mercenary camp was able to take down a tower and a wall in that process. The golems are just now starting to spawn. Remember, they have 74 skulls to our 26 skulls. So our golem is very, very much weaker. We are taking the other siege giant camp. This camp is actually going to help us fight the golems. So we should have taken this a little bit earlier, but it's going to be heading down here, and it's going to try to help us hold off this onslaught. Now, unfortunately, the majority of the enemy team is located down in the bot lane right now, pushing with this golem. and there's not much we can do. We have a Nova who is not really able to do one-on-one fights, not able to duel. She needs that element of surprise. We have myself, who is basically just a ball of health right now. I don't have any offense at the present time, and we have our Illidan, who just got back into the game and is trying to deal damage, but Illidan is so squishy that he's not really able to engage here either. The enemy Barbarian is going to chase me down, landing that ancient spear. She is going to take my life. Are we going to end the life of the enemy Illidans? No, with a good jump over to the minion line, he is going to be able to get away, but the Barbarian in hot pursuit, is she going to be able to make anything happen? Another good jump by the enemy Illidan is going to jump on top of our Nova, and she's going to be taken down by the Uther damage. Unfortunately, the friendly Barbarian falls there as well, and the Illidan following soon after, and this onslaught of a push continues down in the bottom lane. Don't you worry, guys. I'm going to stand here and drink out of my keg, which is pretty much the only thing I can do right now. Turns out the Illidan doesn't speak English either. So in just about every way that there are a ton of reasons to be negative about this game if you're in this situation playing it. Our Golem did absolutely nothing. Their Golem took down the Tier 2 fort. We know 2 people on our team don't even speak the same language as us, and our comp is very questionable at best. But we are staying positive. We are trying to hang on. The Barbarian getting out of there with barely any health at all is going to get some nourishment from that sippy cup. I unfortunately fall to the damage of Uther and Nova, but Illidan with the hunt is going to be chasing down the enemy Uther. The triple tap coming out from the friendly Nova on top of the enemy Nova. Is the friendly Illidan going to be able to make anything happen? It doesn't look like it. Is he going to back off? It looks like he's backing off because of those roaches. The friendly Barbarian is still chasing down the enemy Uther. Will the Ancient Spear land? No, it looks like she is too far out of range now, but tries anyway. And with that, the enemy team gets out pretty clean. They did not lose a lot there. The enemy Illidan now pushing the top lane. I am in pursuit. Are we going to be able to make anything happen? I don't know. We could at least clear out the minion wave so we don't lose a lot of ammunition here. But we actually jump in and do a lot of damage. He does stay around to take down that tower. I do have reinforcements on the way. Standing here taking as much damage as I can. He is going to pop his metamorphosis form on top of the friendly Nova, and she is going to fall. But I don't think he's going to get away. The hunt coming out from the friendly Illidans was a little bit overkill, but we do take him down. If I go ahead and show you guys my talents, we have enhanced our Q ability with Deadly Strike. We have increased our mana pool with the Bottomless Mug, enhanced our Q again with the Pressure Point, which allows us to root an enemy in place when we kick, and we got the Storm, Earth, and Fire ultimate, which is going to allow us to split into 3 different forms when we cast our ultimate, and each of those forms has their own health bar, and they can basically go in and attack. It looks like the Nova following me down into the mines is going to hit me with her full burst combo, and I'm going to miss all of mine, but we continue to pursue her outside. She re-enters the mines, we follow. She exits, we follow. Will she get away? Will she be able to make it to the safety of her fort? No, she will not. Unfortunately, I lost a ton of health in that engagement. The enemy Illidan now engaging as well. He is going to follow us into the mines. Do I see him? Yes, I do. And I managed to escape as he dives over my head. Do we have enough health to make it out of here? It looks like we have enough health to re-engage on the enemy Illidan. I didn't even remember doing that. Holy crap, that was a ballsy play. Now, we did have a lot of assistance from our team, but I could have easily fallen there. As of right now, my score on Chen is 7-3, so I have a lot of deaths. But, you know, that's the price of paying a tank this week. That is the price. Our Illidan is doing a great job of collecting skulls. He is met with some confrontation here with our Nova, though. The enemy Barbarian chasing down Nova is going to land that Ancient Spear. Now the Illidan is engaging on that as well. Both of these guys are getting their asses beat and need to get out of here. But hello, my name is Chen. How you doing? I'm going to leave. And they're like, what just happened? They're just trying to accept it. I guess they were waiting for me to re-enter. That's not going to happen. The enemy team now colliding on the friendly Barbarian, getting hit by that Uther. Yet again, she is going to fall as well. And now Illidan and I are in a bit of a predicament. We should probably get out of here. I am going to be drinking to get a little bit of a shield, and then we are going to get the hell out of Dodge. Are they going to follow? Yes, they are, but I'm standing here drinking, and you can see I have a little bit of an aura here. This is a talent that I picked. Oh, I wasted ultimate by Nova. Engaging Zagara once again in the mines. Are we going to be able to make anything happen? It looks like we do pick up the kill on the enemy Nova, and as I pop my ultimate, we had 3 different forms. Very mobile in this form. I was able to jump in on Zagara and secure that kill as well. Now Uther caught by himself as he was trying to get more skulls. The enemy team with 48 skulls to the friendly team's 28. So it's very, very important that we get this Golem. Unfortunately, the enemy Barbarian, once again, engaging on Nova. Will she be able to get away? We do have an Illidan chasing, but it looks like he is going to back off because he knows that the objective is more important. So the talent I have right now that is allowing me to shield my friendly units is called Enough to Share. Basically, whenever I'm channeling my trait, which is the brew that I have to drink to get mana, it's also giving me that shield, and now that shield is going to be shared to all of my allies in range. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to pick Chen, is because at level 13, he essentially can become a support warrior. He's able to shield everyone around him and still initiate in these fights and still be distracting and still be a nuisance. He's pretty strong in that regard. Now, he doesn't deal any damage at all, as far as I can understand. He's a decent dueler. It looks like Illidan is going to use his ultimate, but it's only on mercenaries. A little bit of a waste there. We are trying to get these mercenaries down really quick as the golems are respawning right now. We're a little bit ahead. We won by 4 skulls. Uther coming in is going to see us taking this camp, and he's going to be like, nope, I don't want any of that. And another missed Ancient Spear by our Sonya. Not really necessary to land that one. We do have Azmodan channeling that Death Beam on top of the enemy golem. Now, that does use his mana for the entire duration that he's channeling that. So it is possible for him to go from full mana to nothing while he's doing that, but it does deal some significant damage. And without much of a loss, we are able to take down the enemy golem. I believe it only got 1 tower and 1 wall. Our golem, on the other hand, finally takes down that top fort, and we gain a little bit of ground on the enemy team. The Barbarian on the front line, spinning, winning, trying to make something happen. But she is going to be taken down by the triple tap. She was trying to clear out that mercenary camp that we took, but was not able to do so. This whole green thing above the enemy team health bars is really confusing. Looks like our Illidan is going to get chunked by that snipe. He is going to use first aid to try to get some health back, and I just jump into the front line and start using my trait to give him some shield so he can survive a little bit longer. We now have our golems pushing down, or our siege giants pushing down this fortification line, and it goes down no problem. The enemy Uther is decimated as the full team engages. We have our Illidan going in with the hunt, is going to take down the enemy Nova as well, and we just completely flattened all of the defenses they had here. The enemy Illidan trying to re-engage as well, but both myself and the friendly Illidan are going to jump in on that and push him back. Now Zagara caught in alone, walking into a 1v5. Never a good idea. She is going to fall at the top of the screen, and now the Barbarian, making the same mistake, is also being pushed back at the top of the screen. Using my kick to get over the Nexus, we are able to gap close and finish her off. And I do declare that this is going to be a good game. We used what little resources we had to gain an advantage. We somehow got ahead on XP. We did a fantastic job of controlling mercenaries, and we won the mines when we needed to. Even though we have this really, really weird team comp, we made it work. And I think that partially has to do with Chen. So in the small amount of time that I had those shields, I was able to shield for 21,000 damage. I believe when I got the shields, I don't want to go back and look because it'll mess up the replay. I believe when I was at level 12, before I got the upgrade to make my shields AoE, I believe I had around 8,000, 9,000 healing. You can go back and check if you would like, but that was a ton of defense for my team. I was able to get in, I was able to tank, I was able to survive with that Earth, Storm, and Fire, or whatever the fuck it's called, Storm, Earth, and Fire. He's not my favorite character by any means, but he certainly is really good to play this week. So I took a character I don't like and applied him in a way that allowed me to win today. That rhymed. That's a good note to end on. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave us a comment down below as well. And if you're new to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe. I do believe that Jaina Proudmoore is going to be released tomorrow, and I'll try to get you guys a video of that as soon as I can. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.